Hello, Brick Sculptors. Welcome to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris, and we are getting ready to wrap up this building. That's right, this is the converted warehouse building. If you follow my channel, you know that we have been working on making this into a brew pub. Well, let me tell you, I've got the exterior pretty much done. Might add a few details here and there, but for the most part, exterior is pretty much all buttoned up. And it is time for the interior. Don't worry, this here is going to be covered by the library right next door, as this will fit into my city, and this here will be below ground. So the street level is right here. We have 4 different floors to work on. Basement, main level, and then 2 upper stories here. And I did get the top finished as well. Check this out. I love that pitched roof there. I do need to put glass in all these. I have those on order, but I was too excited to film this video. I wasn't going to wait for it. So, exterior is pretty much done. Let's spin around and look inside. Nothing except for a spiral staircase. That's right. It's time to fill up the inside of this. Today, we are going to focus on the bottom 2 stories. The basement is going to be the brewery storeroom. This is going to be the brewery. And then I know initially I said this was going to be the bar. Well, I got a couple good comments saying it's way too small, and I agreed. So I just made a massive spiral staircase from here up to what will be the bar. And the top floor will be the artist's loft. And that, let me tell you, was a lot of fun to build. So let's go ahead and get this filled up here. I'm going to do these 2 floors today. And stay tuned, because tomorrow you're getting those 2. All right, we're going to start down here in the basement storeroom. Here we go. I've already laid everything out. You can see there's a lot of weird things. It'll all make sense when I'm done. Don't worry. This over here is going to be a rack for kegs. And I didn't want to take that out because it's just kind of built in there. These are just 1x2 cheese slopes that are stacked on the edge here. And each of those is going to hold a keg. Let's go ahead and get started with plugging that in. So first of all, I have some full kegs. I took the kegs and I put a stripe around them to indicate different kinds of beverages in them. Those are going to sit all the way back here in this back wall, just like that. And now we're going to line up kegs on our wall here. For the most part, all our kegs are just going to look like this. But I am going to have a few that have corks in them and one with a spigot as well. And then all I have to do with these kegs is just plop them in one by one along this wall. And they fit really nicely in these holders. What's holding them in? The wall has a bunch of snot bricks on it, so the studs are sticking out, and that way the kegs can just stick right in. I apologize for my green fingers. Had a little bit of a Easter egg dying incident earlier today, and it didn't come off. I didn't try super hard, but it's not easy to get off. I tried a little bit. All right, and then on the end here, I'm going to have a couple of these with corks in them as if they've been sampled for quality control, and then one with a spigot. We're going to have a quality control guy here tasting that one when we're done. All right, what else do we need down here? Over in this corner, it's just going to be random barrel storage. So I've got a few stacks of barrels that we're just going to put in this corner just to fill out some space. And one of the ones down in front, I wanted to have a broom and a shovel in it, just to hold a couple tools there, because I'm sure it gets messy down here. Now this is going to be our bottling and canning area, and over here is going to be our kind of supplies, our brew ingredients per se. So for bottling and canning, we need bottles. There's a stack of 24 bottles. I did use some alt bricks in this build just because some of the stuff was expensive. These bottles were expensive, so those are actually Go bricks. And these cans, this color, pearl silver in 1x1 round brick, is kind of uncommon and kind of expensive. So those are alt bricks. And these barrels are actually Go bricks too. All right, we're going to plug that in there. And we're going to plug the bottles in on the other side. And then this here will be our station for filling. Let me get you a little lower angle here. Okay, now we need a table in here. I've just got this tile. I use these faucets for legs, and that's just going to go right in the back. Looks like a stainless steel table. and I need my filling equipment on there. Now, because the top of that table is tile, I decided to mount my canning machine right here to the wall. So I'm just going to pull the stairs out there, plop that right there, and next to it are going to be my bottling machines. So I've got these here, which are just snot bricks with these T-pieces and a bottle on each one, and we're just going to line those up here. And I got 4 of them. Put our wall back together, hold everything in place. Looks pretty cool. I wanted to add a container here of lids. We're going to take a worker. I like this face because when I really focus, I stick my tongue out like that. So it reminds me of me. He's going to be here working at the canning station. Over on this side here, we're going to put some raw ingredients. So these look like sacks of barley or whatever they're using to brew ingredients. So I just wanted to have some of those stacked back here. Got some white ones and some tan ones. And then in this section here, I did this, where I just took these 1x2 with rounded edges plates, stacked a whole bunch, and then I'm just going to snot those in on the wall here. And that looks like sacks of barley or wheat or whatever they're brewing. Right over here, I have a pallet where I just stacked up little bags of things. This could be, I don't know, sugar, yeast, whatever you need to make beer. Go ahead and put that there underneath this shelf. And then I know it's not super realistic, but I wanted to have some open containers of raw ingredients just to show what's going on down there. Also, you know, this is a small town brew pub. They probably do tours down here. So I have a crate of hops and a crate of barley. And I'm just going to pop those right here underneath the shelf as well. They probably would be using them more out of the sacks than out of the crates, but I thought that looked kind of cool. All right, for this shelf here, I wanted to line up some cool demonstration stuff. So we've got these glass containers with different varieties of hops in them. That'll go up top. And then I got a couple of these 1x2 jumpers with sacks on them. Those are just going to go right up here. Some more raw ingredients. That way when they bring the tourists through, they can show them all the cool stuff they store in here. In the middle here, I want to have some items that are full. So here's some bottles. You know, I made the bottles dark, indicating that they're full. Unfortunately, they only make 3 colors in this bottle. So I'd like to have that look more orange, but that wasn't an option. And some full cans there. Just plop that right there. And then I have this pallet here with some empty kegs on it, ready to get full right there. Okay, last thing we need is a couple more employees here. I got this guy in the overalls. He's going to be over here working with the raw ingredients. And then here is our tester with his list and a glass. And he's going to be right here by our spigot. And that is the basement of the brewery. What do you think? Pretty cool? Crammed a lot of detail in there, and that was a lot of fun to build. All right, next, we're going to do the brewery itself. Now, I've already built this spiral staircase, and I didn't want to take that out, so I'm leaving it in there because it is kind of built into the room, and it's a big one. There's a lot of pieces in there. I used spyglasses and slopes for the railing, and it turned out really nice, and it lines up seamlessly with the next floor. For this room, we're not going to have much else other than that staircase. I did want to put some details in there, so I took a couple of stacks of these old barrels, just as kind of show. This is where tourists are going to walk into and kind of see the first impression of the brewery. So I just lined those up here on this wall just to show a bit of a backdrop there. There is a brewery. And then right here, I wanted a little guest book and a menu. And so that's what we have here. Just something that people can sign in and say that they were in the brewery. Okay, over on this side is going to be our actual brewery. And the first thing we need is tanks. And I'm going to show you how I built the tank because I think they turned out pretty cool. I'm going to start with one of these 2x2 round bricks with the Technic holes on the side. I'm going to take a 2x2 plate and put that on the bottom. There we go. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 of these half cylinders in gray and put them on top. Now I'm going to take one of these umbrella or radar dish pieces and just snap that over the top there. And that's the basis of our tank. Now what else does our tank need? It needs legs, it needs spigots and pipes and all kinds of cool stuff. So let's go ahead and start with the bottom and we'll work our way up. On the bottom of this, we're going to take 2 of these 4 long with rounded edges plates and stick them on either side, just like that. And then we're going to take a 3 long bar and put it right in the middle. We're going to take a 3 wide radar dish, umbrella, whatever, stick it right there. And then one of these T-handle or T-junction pieces on the bottom. That's going to be kind of the outflow on the bottom of the tank so they can drain it. Okay. Next we need legs. So for the legs, I have 4 gray spyglasses. And I'm just going to put those right here on the corners of these plates. And now it will stand on its own. The tank needs a spigot. So here I have one of these gray levers on another one of these T-junction pieces. That's just going to stick right in the front of the tank. And then I have a couple of gray flowers. I'm just going to put those on those sides to look like closed off valves for other options for draining or moving liquids in and out of this tank. All right, one last thing. We need a pipe coming down from the top. We're going to start with one of these 1x1 rounds with a bar on it. T-junction piece sticking off the end. 6 long bar. That's going to drop down. Another T-junction piece. Then we're going to take one of these spigots and make it face upward. On top of that, we're going to put one of these 1x1 round bricks in trans clear. I think this is a way they can extract stuff and test it. And then they have a gauge we're going to put right here. And then this pipe assembly is just going to stick off the top, run down the side, and kind of go to this corner here so it can be reached from the front. Made 2 more, so now we have 3 tanks that we can load into our brewery. He's just going to stick to the floor here in the back. I decided to put a mat in front of each one because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of liquids moving around, and safety is always important with Legos. There we go. All right, now we need a mash tun. The mash tun's built pretty similar, but I did incorporate this cool printed piece on the front, and up top here we got a motor. The mash tun's going to go right over here, and then I need my head brewer. She's going to be the one who gives the tours, shows people around the brewery. And the last thing I need in the brewery here is a tasting center. So here we've got a little individual keg spout with a tap handle on it. And some glasses right next to it. So when people come in, they can taste the beer they're making. All right, we can put that up on top here. And there we go. We've got the whole brewery and the storeroom done. We give you one more view here. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. We'll do more just like this in the future. And tomorrow, I'll put out the next 2 floors. That's all I have for this time, and we will see you next time.